Hey guys, Brandon here. So I just got the 12.6 update on both Teslas, the Model 3 and the Model X, 2018 X, 2019 Model 3. I'm in the Model 3 right now and testing out the newest feature, which is traffic control, where the car will now respond to traffic lights and stop signs. Specifically, basically anytime there's a stop sign or a traffic light in the intersection, the car will automatically stop at that intersection unless you tell it to go through it. And if you tell it to go through a red light, it won't. Reportedly, anyway. So let's see how it works. I'm heading onto a street right now that has a lot of traffic lights on it. Although I have to get through this cemetery first. Also, when you're on autopilot and using traffic control, there you can see all those lights, it will only go the speed limit. So that's going to limit how much you can use it, because everybody behind you is going to be irritated. Without traffic control, you can go 5 over the speed limit, which helps a little bit, but even then, you'll get run over. So we got about 200 yards to the first traffic light, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Go on to autopilot. It looks like it's trying to center me in this wide lane here. We've gone down to the speed limit. Now I can speed up with my foot, but it's not going to stop if I'm pushing the gas pedal or the accelerator. Alright, here's our first one. Hasn't shown up yet. Stopping for traffic light in 400 feet. So, but it says it's green, and it is green, so I'm going to use the accelerator. And it accepts my input, and we just went through the light. And I'm going to speed up a little bit because the guy behind me is irritated. Good, we have a red light now. And either way, there's a car in front of us, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to let up now. Stopping for traffic in 400 feet. Okay, even though I still have to tell it to go. So I did. And here we go. We're going through the light. Alright, I'm going to speed up again. Now here's an intersection, but we don't have a stoplight. And it's not telling me it needs to stop, which is good. Here's another one. Stopping in 300 feet, use the accelerator or gear stalk. So, oh, there's a yellow light. So I'm going to let it stop for me. A red line. Stopping for traffic control. And it brought me to a complete stop with no car in front of me. That's pretty cool. Everything's quite wiggly except for the stop line, which is interesting. Alright, I touched the accelerator. Now I'm letting go and it's carrying on. And it stops me at 25 miles per hour. So I'm going to avoid getting hit from behind by maintaining this speed of the road, or the speed of traffic anyway. And we're coming up to another red light. Stopping for traffic control in 400 feet. Now in this intersection, I could be in either lane. The current build does not turn, so it's not going to take me into a different lane. Alright, now I'm going to tell it to go through this. Oops. Actually, okay, so I was actually in the wrong lane. So it does not do nav on autopilot. I'm going to get the slow lane because this is getting annoying being tailed. There we go. Ooh. Okay, why is it? There we go. It did not change the allowed speed limit to the posted sign, so we can go 30 instead of 25. Stopping for light. So I'll tell it to go ahead with a little tap of the accelerator. Oops. So far, so good. Okay, now we've got a railroad track, and then after that a light. Or no, is that the same? Oop, go ahead. Alright, 2 lanes went down to 1 there. Looks like it's trash day on this street. Recycling day. Car parked on the side. Back we go. Alright. Intersection coming. Okay. I guess it counted my previous interaction as confirmation there, because it just went through that one, no problem. Here's an intersection for school crossing, but there's no light or stop sign, so nothing there. Oh, looks like it thought it needed to stop, but it missed it. Or it got confused. Because there was kind of a light there, but the light wasn't active. Alright, so tell it to go. It's actually fairly intuitive to use the accelerator to tell it to go through. You know how when somebody else is driving and they're coming up to a stop, and even if you're in the passenger side, your foot starts pushing for the brake? Well, that's kind of what happens with this. Even though the car starts slowing down, like your instinct is like, no, we should keep going, and your foot goes to the accelerator. I'm going to speed up a little bit. And so it's just kind of intuitive for that to happen. So I guess it's less disruptive than I thought. The fact that it stops it slows down even for green lights. It's less disruptive than I thought it would be. Alright, let's get to the next light. Okay, stopping for traffic control in 300 feet. Yep, go ahead. Alright, let's do one more traffic light. And then we need to go find some stop signs. Stopping for traffic in 400, so I'm not going to touch anything except for the steering wheel. It's putting me in the center lane, and it's coming to a stop. It identified the stop line fine. Pretty good. Now I have to tell it to go. Alright. So, I'm going to take it off that. Oh, let's just break off here. And let's go stop sign hunting. Whoops, dead end. Oh, what kind of a design is this? Here's a one-off. Look how faded that stop sign is. I wonder why. Is it 50 years old or something? Alright, let's go to some side streets and hunt for stop signs. No outlet, that's probably not going to help. So it's a little confused with the flashing yellows. puts down a, whoops, probably should have gone down that street. Anyway, so when there's flashing yellows strung across where I guess there might be pedestrians but nothing else, it wants to stop there. Now this may not work because we still need to be on autopilot, but it's not going to let me do that. Street with there's a leaf. Here's a stop sign, but I can't use autopilot because I don't have lane lines. Alright, let's go down this street and see what happens. Thought it was going to stop there, but whoops. A little hard to get it on the right speed limit here. Okay, 25. Alright, come on, stop. Oh, yep, there's a stop sign ahead. I wonder if it's going to avoid this parked car. It's going to pretend to acknowledge it and then graze the side. So autopilot is still. Hey, here's a stop sign. It's got us. Sees the sign. It's got to stop. Telling me it's going to stop. Doesn't know where to center itself. All right. So I just touched the accelerator, now it's going through the intersection. And it's probably going to hit that parked car, so... Yeah, so Tesla continues to be not good with parked cars. Or at least parked cars within the non-defined lane edge. Weird because Musk has talked about Tesla's detecting not just being within lanes but like the potential drive space. So if they're detecting the potential drive space, why do they think they can drive through cars? It just doesn't make sense to me. Oops. No lane lines on that road. There's a stop sign there. Well, stop signs for the most part will be all the same. So I think I'll go back, just do some traffic lights on the way back here. So the limitations, well, the obvious one is that it stops at every light, every color, and every sign, every stop sign. So it's kind of driving, it's kind of not taking any liability. It's basically you have to tell it to go through every intersection. It will only go the speed limit. So like right now, somebody's coming up on my tail because I have a green light. So that's going to limit its use. You can't go around obstructing traffic all the time. And it's not doing turns. So it's fairly basic, but it's a start, I guess. So we'll see. Hopefully the pace of development here accelerates because we got Smart Summon, and that was pretty rough when they released it. They smoothed it out a little bit so it works better. And but even now, it's still kind of clunky. It's kind of hit or miss, and so it's not ready to just up and use. And so anyway, and that was like delayed 6 or 9 months, and now so that's been out for a while and supposedly like part of full self-driving, but it's still kind of limited and not that convenient, and it requires supervision, and you have to be within 150 feet. So yeah, it's extremely limited. So now I just told the car to go. Why is that car stopped? What else do we have? Oh, navigate on autopilot. That's pretty slick, but it still won't lanes change without a driver awake notification. So I'm going to go through this light with my foot on the pedal. So even though nav on autopilot is full self-driving for freeways, it still won't change lanes unless you tell it that you're still there and you're still awake. So that's kind of like still requiring a confirmation. I gotta get over that lane. So even that's fairly limited, even though it works really well. So and I use it most of the time I'm driving on the freeway. So there's that. And now we have the city stuff, but it's it's way more limited than I think people anticipated. But it is just the initial release. But we get these releases, and then we're all dreaming about what it's going to look like eventually. But then nothing is at a state